Getting started with Facebook ads to promote your music on Spotify can be a little bit overwhelming at first, especially when it comes to targeting. If you come from the world of playlisting, you are submitting your song to playlist curators and hopefully making their audience your audience. So the targeting is kind of built in. But with Facebook, you have to start from scratch, and that can be frustrating. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to start with a cold audience who's never heard your music and ultimately arrive at an audience built of lookalike audiences and custom audiences of people who are more in tune with what you are releasing on a regular basis. Now, before we get into this video about targeting and how to, over time, build your Facebook audience, I want to first apologize about how I sound today, because I am dying. Literally dying. My allergies are killing me today, but I need to make a YouTube video, so we're going to do it. Stuffed nose and all. I hope you guys enjoy hearing me sound this ridiculous. Just wanted to put that out there. Anywho, so today we're going to talk about audience targeting, and more specifically how to improve your targeting over time using Facebook ads. I'm going to walk you through the several steps that I have taken to start from a cold audience, just targeting similar artists, to where I am now, which is a combination of custom and lookalike audiences, which is yielding much better results for me. So we'll get started in Facebook ads. As you can see, I have a bunch of different campaigns that I have run, but we're going to start with this campaign here for Lions. This is a release campaign I did for Lions back in January, and this kind of has all of the elements to get started to showcase kind of how I've naturally evolved. Going back to the campaign level view here, all the way down here, you can see originally I started testing out link clicks and landing page views, and then eventually ended up on conversions, which is easily the best way to run ads. And all of this conversion stuff in here is kind of showcased in this Lions campaign, which is why we're going to start with this one here. So when you first start running ads, you don't have any fans on Facebook. Facebook has no data about you. They have no idea who you're targeting. So you have to figure that out of the gate. Sometimes you can get good results doing that. Sometimes you may not get good results doing that, and you have to refine it over time. By and large, you should start with something that's kind of like this. We'll go to this artist target ad set here and scroll down to the targeting. So what we really want to look at is not the countries, locations, and all that. We want to look at the detailed targeting. So when you first start, you want to target some similar artists to what your song sounds like. So in this case, my song Lions was a bit kind of on the heavier side for me. So I targeted Breaking Benjamin, Bring Me the Horizon. I targeted IGN, which is a video game company. They do a bunch of video game coverage and all that, because I realized that a lot of the artists that I was targeting, their followers and fan bases also were gamers. So I decided to throw that in there, and it actually worked out great. I targeted Linkin Park, Papa Roach, and Skrillex. And then from there, I narrowed it to an affinity for Spotify. So basically what I've done here is I've taken a chunk of artists and similar interests and then narrowed that for Spotify. So all of the people who like this group of artists and stuff must also like Spotify. And what I'm looking to get here is a potential reach of between 10 and 50 million people. And as you can see here, my potential reach ended up at about 17 million people for this particular ad set. So this is a great place to start. When you're starting out with no data at all, if you can get an audience between 10 and 50 million people to start, that's a great place to kick things off and should hopefully get you good results. When you are starting out, you want to make an ad set that has this kind of targeting in it, and you want to let that run for at least a week without touching anything. Because when you first get started, what you really want more than anything is just data. You just need information on what is happening, what people are clicking through. You need to give Facebook the information to process so that it can learn to do a better job for you for your ads in the future. So after you've run this ad set for a week, maybe 2 weeks, you ultimately want to end up at a place where you have gotten at least 100 conversions in any single country. It just has to be one country. That's it. It doesn't matter what country it is. It just has to be one country. If you want to ensure that you get 100 conversions in a single country, you could even make an ad set that is just targeting one country. like Mexico, Brazil, Russia, Taiwan. These are all places that have a higher than average affinity for Spotify, and you're more likely to get more conversions in those countries. So you might want to start there. Otherwise, as I did in this ad set that I just showed you, you can target all Spotify territories where the platform is available and just let Facebook kind of do its thing. That's what I did. So once you've let that ad set run for a full week at least, and you've gotten 100 conversions in any single territory, what you want to do is take the next steps. Level 2. We want to create a custom audience based off of some things that are happening with our ads. So if we go to the 9 dots in the top left here, we're going to go to audiences. And this is where we can create a couple of custom audiences. I like to use 2. So I have 2 different custom audiences that I use. The first one is this AdVids 95% 60. And what this is this is people who have viewed 95% of my video ad that I'm running in the last 60 days. So to do that, you go to create audience, go to custom audience, and you will go to video, go to next, choose a content type, and then you'll scroll to the bottom and you'll go to people who have watched 95% of your video. And once you have that selected, you will choose your videos. And this is where you choose your ad video. So we'll just select any video. It doesn't really matter for this purpose. Click confirm. In this case, you'd want to select your video that you're running. And I like a 60-day window. You can go all the way up to a year. You can do 90. That's very popular as well. I prefer 60. And then you'll call the audience a name. So we'll just give it a name. And then you'll click create audience. After that, I also like to create a second custom audience. This custom audience is based off of people who have actually converted and clicked the button on my landing page in my ads. So this one's called View Content 60. And this is created kind of in a similar fashion. So we'll go to create audience again, go to custom audience. In this case, we'll go to website. Click next. We will select our pixel, which is my pixel, Tom DuPree III's pixel. We'll go to where it says events. We'll click that, scroll down to view content, people who have triggered the view content event. 60 days, and then we'll give the audience a name. In this case, we'll just call it name. And then we click create audience again. So that's level 2. This is going to open up retargeting options for you, and this is going to create 2 audiences that you're going to use as what's called the seed for your lookalike audiences. And lookalike audiences are level 3. So that's what we'll get to next. So once you've created these 2 custom audiences, you started with cold targeting and you ran that for a week, targeting some similar artists and narrowing for Spotify. After you got enough conversions and enough video views, after a week, you created these 2 custom audiences. What we want to do now is we want to go up to create audience again, and this time we want to select lookalike audience. I like a 1% lookalike audience because that's the most narrow we can get. It's going to be the people who are the most likely to be similar to all the people who have already clicked through your ad or watched your video, depending on the seed audience you use. So here we'll select lookalike source, and we will go to other sources. And in this case, we will use the ad video view audience. We'll select that as a source. And in my version of Ad Manager here, I don't have to add any territories. I'll include the locations when I create the ad set. So from there, you click create audience. Now, the same thing will apply if you want to do a different source of the other one. When you create your second lookalike audience, you can use the view content metric there, and then you can click create audience as well. And so once we've created 2 custom audiences and 2 lookalike audiences, now comes the fun part of really getting your targeting narrowed down even further. So let's go back to the Ad Manager. Click the 9 dots, go to the Ad Manager. And in this case, we'll go to this other campaign. This is the current campaign I have going. This is my Spotify growth campaign. And we will go to this Lions campaign, or this Lions ad set, excuse me. So this is what it's going to look like once you have done all these previous steps. So we started with a cold audience, targeting similar audiences and narrowed for Spotify. We ran that for a week. We didn't touch it. We just got data. After we confirmed that we got 100 conversions in a single country, then we created 2 custom audiences, one off of video views and one off of conversions. With those 2 custom audiences, we created 2 lookalike audiences based off of the exact same things. Now we're going to take all 4 of those audiences, we're going to dump them into a new ad set, and this will greatly improve our targeting over time. In this ad set, as you can see under here, we've got these custom audiences, ad vids 9560, view content 60, and both of the lookalikes based off of that. So when you're creating this is what you're going to do. So we'll go to create, we'll create a new campaign here. Just click continue. We don't have to name anything. And we're going to go to the ad set level here. So here we are. So to do this, we are going to go to create new audience, custom audiences, and we are going to select both of our lookalikes from the drop down here, and then we're going to select both of our custom audiences. Including both of these accomplishes 2 things. One, you get a better, more narrowed cold audience using your lookalikes rather than targeting similar artists. You've let Facebook do the work for you to determine who is potentially going to click through on your ad. And secondly, we are able to retarget our already existing viewers and people who have converted all within the same ad set. So we're getting a lot of really rich data in one single ad set, which is very, very beneficial. Then after that, we'll scroll down. And once you've included all of your Spotify territories and the locations under detailed targeting, the only thing you are going to add here is narrowing for Spotify. You're not going to include any artists anymore, nothing like that. And I like to leave detailed targeting expansion off. And after that, everything else ad setup wise is the same. There's plenty of stuff on my channel you want to check out to see how to do all the other stuff. But this is the way that I use to narrow my targeting over time, and my ad results have gotten a lot better as a result. So that's it for this video. I hope this has been helpful. This is what I have done over the past several months to improve my targeting on Facebook. Starting with that cold audience and letting it build up data is one of the most important parts. A lot of the time people want to skip over that first part. You only want to run it for a few days because you really want to get to that lookalike audience. But patience at the beginning is critical. If you can let that run for a week or 2 weeks, let it go for a while and get a bunch of data, your custom audiences and your lookalike audiences are just going to get better. And once you create those custom and lookalikes, your ads are just going to continue to improve over time because it's kind of a self-fulfilling feedback loop. The more data that Facebook gets from your ads, the more data it dumps back into those audiences and the better performance you're going to get out of all of your campaigns. Now at the end here, I got a couple things you can check out. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.